Welcome to, let me position myself properly. Welcome to Sac and Taff. Um, my name's Rosalind Roberts. Hopefully, you've been watching or you've seen some of my other podcasts, and it's in relation to my main book I wrote years ago called A Sacrifice of a Lifetime, but it's in combination. I'm going to move this back a bit, see if that's any better. It's in combination with my other book that I'm promoting as well, Taffy Howe. That would be mentioned every now and then as well. So I will be talking more about about a sacrifice of a lifetime, and but I've sort of been introducing myself, why I decided to self-publish, and how I've been selling the book, and people that I've met along the way, and I've met some great people along the way, and I wanted to continue to share about a few more customers. Every now and then I will, because I've met some great people, and even when somebody has responded in a way that's not so positive, I've learned from it. It's molded my character, which is what it's all about. And also, if someone has been a little bit negative about my first book, A Sacrifice of a Lifetime, right, what it's done is it's made me realize that sometimes this is what's going to happen. But the more I publicize it, it could happen in a much bigger way. Am I still gonna go ahead and republish it? Yes, I am still gonna go ahead and republish it. I'm going to, because that's not the reason why I wrote the book. There's a reason why I wrote the book, and it's not because of some of the negative issues or points people have brought up, and that's why I'm also doing a podcast as well to sort of be able to comment on these issues in a more deeper way. But I wanted to share about a customer that I met a few years ago. So basically, a few years ago, when I was selling my book, Taffy Howe, I would sell it at a particular price, and the price was, I think it was about $4.50. And then sometimes, people couldn't afford it, and I'd bring it down to $3.50. It was like that. That was years ago. So I was talking to this particular gentleman, and he looked at the book. He was interested in it, but then said that he doesn't have £4.50. And I said, okay. But he said to me that he's doing this sort of a program, and would I be interested? Would I like to come along to it, and so on and so forth? And I said, okay, maybe if I give you a call, you can explain more about it, something like that. And I think I called him. I did call him. I called him, and he explained what it was about. I can't fully remember what it was about, but what I remember was he said, all you need to do is put down £100. And I said, I haven't got £100. And he said, you can't be doing very well if you don't have £100. He said to me, you can't be doing very well if you don't have £100. And I said to him, I'm sorry, I can't obviously remember fully what I said, but I said something like, it's not that I don't have £100. It's because the money that I have, I'm investing into self-publishing. That's what I'm investing in. I said to him, do you realize to self-publish a book costs a lot of money? It costs hundreds and thousands of pounds. Are you aware of that? He said, yes, I am. So I said to him, so it's not that I'm not doing very well. And at the time, to be honest, it was a struggle. But in anything that you start off with, if you don't have a large amount of finances to back you up, if you're starting from scratch, it can be very difficult. All right, and even if you do have a bit of finance behind you, it still can be a bit of you can still face difficulty. That's why it's difficult to start a business, because you've really got to put in a lot of work to create a foundation, and so on and so forth. And he said, no, I do understand that, because I just wanted to make him see that what he said, it was discouraging. It wasn't a way to look at someone because they're saying they don't have £100. They can't be doing very well, because he said, and I don't know whether I mentioned it to him, he said to me he didn't have £4.50. Now I know that it didn't mean he didn't have £4.50. That's not what he meant. What he meant was, to me, this is what I think he meant. He didn't have £4.50 to spare to buy a book, because he, in his mind, would rather use the £4.50 for something else that was more beneficial at the time. That's how I saw it. So I would never turn around and say, when people say they don't have £4.50 or they don't have any money, sometimes they literally mean they don't have any money. Sometimes that's what they mean. They don't have it. They don't have it. They might have like a few coins, or they might have like a few pounds, but it's not to buy something like a book that they don't really need. It's to buy something, to buy food, milk, it's to pay for a bill. I understand that. So I would never turn around and say to someone, whoa, you must be really, life must be really, or how can I say, I wouldn't turn around and say what he said, like, oh, you must be doing really badly in life. You must really be, really doing really badly. I can't even think of the word because I wouldn't come out with it. You must be. For you not to have, I just accept the fact that they don't have the money. End of story. End of story. But these things build you up because it makes you see yourself for who you are. And like I said at the time, it was difficult. It was difficult. I could have got £100 here and given him £100, but I would rather have used that £100 to make a bigger order for my books, to pay towards an order. At the time I didn't have business cards. That £100 could have come, if I had the £100, I'd rather pay the £100 to get business cards. I wasn't thinking like that at that stage. And then, as the conversation continued, he had other things to talk about. He started bringing up about my personal life as well. He was sort of saying, oh, because I know you're a single mother. It's like, what are you talking about? I didn't tell him that. I didn't say anything to him about my personal life. Because what's that got to do with this? What has he got to do with that? That's not what I said. I didn't say anything about being a single mother. Nothing about being. And it was like, it just felt he was, there was a little bit, he was stereotyping me a bit. And I think I mentioned that. It just felt like, I said to him, it just feels like you're stereotyping me. It's not all that encouraging. And also the event was on a Sunday, and on Sunday I'd be in church. And I said, I don't think I'll be coming, even if it wasn't on a Sunday, because of what he was saying. He wasn't, the words he was using wasn't benefiting me at all. It was negative. So I wouldn't want to take off a day, all right, whether it was a work day or whether it was a Saturday, where, to be honest, on a Saturday I still worked a bit. I wouldn't want to take off hours to go and do something and be surrounded by that type of negative thought. I wouldn't want to do it anyway. So I just said, no, it's all right, I'll just leave it. So that's something else that I think if you're in business, you've really got to sort of know your worth, because it's easy for someone to look at you and sort of say, well, you're not doing very well, are you? So on and so forth, for you to actually believe it and sort of think, what the person said's true. I might as well just give up. No. Obviously, for business, you've been trying to do a business, and year after year after year after year, nothing's happening. You do need to sort of think, hang on a minute, nothing's happening. What is it I'm doing wrong? Should I continue to do this and go in that direction? Or maybe should I do that and go in that direction? Obviously, you have to think. But if you had an idea, and you had the strength and the self-motivation to take up the idea and to put it into motion, something must be there. Something. Do you know what I mean? Something must be there anyway. I fully believed in what I was doing, and I knew I was going to go from strength to strength. And I think all the hiccups that I had along the way, all it's done is built up character. It's built up character. It's built up a lot of character. There's a lot of things that I have to share and talk about. I do an event now. And the reason why I feel I'm capable of doing the event is because I've actually been hands-on in what I'm doing. I've actually spoken to people from different backgrounds, whether it's in a wealthy area, whether it's in a mediocre area, whether it's in a poorer area. I've spoken to all different people from all different backgrounds, right? And I haven't been afraid to go to a wealthy area, haven't been afraid to go to a mediocre area. I've been patient enough to work in a poorer area. You know what I mean? And I've spoken to all different people from all walks of life. People have told me their stories. Some people have given me advice. You know, some people have become friends, you know, up until this day. You know, so it's just really, really encouraging. I just really wanted to share that with you. And also, in the beginning, when I did say that I wanted to become an author, a few people did sort of say they thought that I should get a ghostwriter to write the book because they didn't believe that I could write a book. So when someone says can't to me, sometimes that triggers something to sort of say, why are they saying can't? Why are they saying can't? Do they know my ability? Do they? Why are they saying can't? And it actually drove me to actually prove them wrong. Yeah, it drove me to prove them wrong, to actually go ahead and write the book. I wanted to write the book. I felt like I had the ability to write. You know, I had the ability to express how I felt in the book. So I wanted to write the book, and I did. So it's also something to think about as well. When you're doing something, someone may turn around and not believe that you can do it because they don't know you properly. There's certain things that they don't know that you can do. There's certain things that they don't realise that you do have the ability to do. Or sometimes people do know you have the ability to do it, but they can just be a little bit jealous. So to put you off, it's an indirect thing. They might not even realise they're putting you off. They're just feeling a little bit all tense that you're doing something that maybe even they want to do, and they don't have the courage to do it. But there's you sort of plodding along saying, no, I'm going to do it. You don't have much resources. You're going to start from scratch, but you don't care because you know that you're going to go from strength to strength. So you're self-motivated, you're enthusiastic, you've got self-belief, you believe in what you're doing, you know, and that person that you're talking to doesn't have all these qualities, and they're trying to sort of say, I don't think you're going to be able to do it. Look, you don't have any money. Look, you don't have the resources. Look, you don't have and so on and so forth. And so it's always good to be surrounded by positive people. You don't need to tell too many people what you're doing. You know, if you can keep it, majority of it to yourself, sometimes it might be better instead of having to listen to people trying to pull you down or trying to you to disbelieve in what you're doing to the point that you don't go ahead with your dream. There must be a reason why you thought of what you're thinking of doing. There must be a reason behind it, and especially if it's beneficial to other people, it's beneficial to the community, it's beneficial socially, it's going to help people. That's even better. That's even, you know, all the more for you to go ahead and do whatever it is that you had in mind. So yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. That's all I can say is that I'm glad that, to be honest, I've been able to go out and put my book out there and speak to people individually. It's encouraging to hear and to see how people respond to what I'm doing, you know. And all I know is that all these years later, I'm in a much better position. There's still room for improvement, you know, but I've got to that point where now, like I shared in my last video, I'm ready to put myself out there more professionally now. So that's the direction I'm walking into. So things are definitely going to change. But I'm glad that I've been able to meet people who have responded to me in such a way that wasn't that encouraging. But it didn't do what maybe it was supposed to do, which was pull me down. It made me take a step back and really think about what I was doing and why. It made me take a step back and respect what I was doing. It made me take a step back and realize that what I'm doing, especially with the first book, although there are things in it that people responded to in a negative way, I know that it's going to be beneficial to a majority of people. So it's all good. So I'm looking forward to sort of get into the flow of talking more about A Sacrifice of a Lifetime. But I wanted to just share a little bit about, like I said, my background and what have you, and the people that I've met, the response I've got as regards to my book, the first book, A Sacrifice of a Lifetime, and how, in a way, it was good that I didn't promote it in those days, because I don't feel I would have been mature enough to deal with it as I would deal with it now. So it's all good. If you want to see what I'm doing online, you can do so. You can follow me on Instagram, which is Roslyn1325. I'm on Facebook as Roslyn Roberts. I'm also on X, and also on YouTube, Welcome Roslyn Roberts. But that's it for now, and look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.